Hey y'all, I'm Resident Evil.
I'm Resident Evil 2.
We're actually
No,
dumb.
I'm just playing.
We're stupid. Anyways, you take it.
Alright, so I am Caveman and this is...
I'm Easy Weasel.
And today we're here talking about one of our most passionate games that we've played, growing up. We've known each other for close to 30 years, something like that.
Yeah, wow.
Since kids and stuff like that. But we're talking about Resident Evil today, hence the intro. So this game is basically really meant a lot to us, so we want to share a story about it, just kind of talk about what, it meant to us, our process of actually seeing and play the first time and all this. So whenever I bought it, I believe it's 1996, so I was about 14 years old. And I remember the whole story just like it was yesterday. So, actually, it was at KB Toys. I was kind of short on cash to get it. My dad was actually with me. Gave me a few bucks to get it, so I was real excited about that. And I remember just the whole day, after that, I got like a BB gun, like all this stuff. And I got home, and I was just playing it, and it was just so different. Like, I remember before I bought it, like, I was looking at, like, reviews and GamePro magazine and stuff like that, and back then they didn't have videos, so you can't really tell what's going on. So all I seen was just like pictures of it, and every perspective was different. It wasn't like a side scroller where you're going left to right or first person view or anything like that. It was just like you see your character like off in the down a hallway or up front or something like that. And so I was confused, but I got good reviews and I was like, yeah, I just want to play it. And I got home and I played it, and I was just excited. I basically got to the point very early in the game where the dolls jump out at you at the windows. Anybody who's played it knows what that part is. And I couldn't shoot the gun. I didn't know what was going on or anything like that. And I remember I called this guy, and I was telling him about it, and I was just like, man, this game is crazy. It's so, different and unique and all this stuff. And I told him, I was like, man, it's awesome, but I can't shoot anything. And, I think he was just kind of confused. And and then he came over eventually a couple days later.
Yeah, I remember coming over, and you were talking about this game. I don't think I was that excited when you were explaining it, from what I remember, because it just, I guess in my head, it didn't really make a lot of sense, because I was so used to the side-scrolling games. This is some of the first 3D games that come out. What, in 96 and like Mario 64, like all this kind of came to us like at one time. So if you're in that moment, it was kind of a big deal. So I remember going over there, playing on your CRT television. And the first thing I remember, that first zombie that you see, the one that turns around. And it was so scary, but you look back now, it's not really. It looks like some kind of skinny clown or something weird. It's really not that scary anymore. Yeah. But then, I was terrified, but I loved it. Had to have it. So I convinced my cousin that it was good. And at the time, you could actually go to Blockbuster Video. You could rent systems. We didn't have a PlayStation 1. He always had he had the system every time it came out. Every brand new system.
Yeah, PlayStation 1 was a big one. I had to get pretty much right when it came out or pretty close to it, yeah.
You always found a way to get these systems, somehow. But so we rented it from Blockbuster, and me and my cousin, we got home, we played it, loved it. Was just couldn't get away from it. It was just great. So we were playing, and the game just kept going and going, and we didn't understand a lot of the concepts, memory cards. We didn't really get that. We were trying to save at certain points, and we didn't understand when we got to the typewriter. It was like, oh, we need an ink ribbon. So we got the ink ribbon, and then we were so disappointed because we still couldn't save. We had to have the memory card. I know that sounds silly now, but at the time, we hadn't heard of that. Yeah. But it was, silly now, but so we died several times and we just kept coming back to it. But
Yeah, I mean, like it. We grew up with like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and all this stuff, and it was. You remember it saved on the cartridge. Like we rented a lot of games back in the day, and it was just like you rent a game, you save your game. You might get like rent it again, get erased or something like that. Someone else ran it or whatever. So that was kind of like I don't know. I guess it was kind of like a benchmark, just as far as like, okay, well, we got to save the game, so we got to buy a memory card. Main thing is like I couldn't get out of the mansion. I know we're kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, like I didn't understand it, and if I did get out of the mansion, I thought that's the game. I thought you were done, you were finished. That's collect those medallions. The crest actually. So the crest. Yeah, you collect those, you get out of the mansion, fight something, and you win.
Yeah. So eventually, like I think we both kind of got strategy guides at some point. I know like I had mailed mine in or something like that, and I was like looking through the strategy guide, and it was like you come out of the mansion, you go back in the mansion, you go to the laboratory and all this stuff. I was just kind of skimming through it, not trying to spoil anything, but I was just like, okay. And I think the part that like really the hump I had to get over was the paintings, the life cycle paintings. We have to click the buttons on the paintings.
You didn't have trouble with the snake?
Oh yeah, that was afterwards too. Yeah.
Was it after? Okay.
I think so.
It's been a while. So.
Yeah, you can
We're going to play it though. We're going to actually play this game.
Yeah.
And go through it and relive some memories.
Definitely, yeah. I guess the next thing I want to talk about is like some of the outdated features. You want to start off with the camera angles and talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, because see, people that is such a people have mixed feelings about this. I personally love the fixed camera angles. I think they are. I'm not gonna say superior to third person and first person views, but it was very unique and it made sense. A lot of the things I know. One of my favorite things is if you're going around a corner and the angle is fixed, you can't see what's up ahead. So you're always terrified about what was going to come out, what was going to attack you. It was like even the first thing I was talking about with the first zombie in the game. You didn't know it was around that corner. You didn't see him eating that dead body. You literally turned corners and there he was. And that's what started it all. And that they took advantage of those fixed camera angles.
Yeah.
They did. And it was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think back now and I'm looking at these camera angles and like, being older and like watching movies and learning more about cinematography and stuff like that, it added so much tension to it. Like, I mean, there was like that same hallway, like you go down the other way, you just see her going down along the hallway. There's nothing else there. There's no other zombies, just doors in the hallway. And these camera angles just kind of like, capture the atmosphere of the game. And that's what I loved about it too. Going into like the tank controls too, like I know people don't like it too, but if you're going between these scenes and you're, using like a kind of like a free movement, you're not really going the scene. Like you might be going forward, but like if you cut to another camera angle, you might be going backwards or something like that, or to the right or something like that.
And that's why I know you had the option when they remade these games on the newer systems. Was it PS4 and stuff like that? When they remade them, they gave you the option to get rid of the tank controls, but it didn't work because every time you would go into another scene, if you were holding down, I don't know, the left button, it would change angles, and left might be going right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. You have to have the tank controls, like for that specific style of game.
Yeah. And then voice acting too. Like, so much has been said about it.
But I like it though. That's the thing. I like it a lot.
I do too. Yeah. I mean, it just has like this atmosphere. I was actually playing through like I got it on download on PS3 right now, and just I don't know. It like makes you laugh, but it's like just it's iconic. I mean, it just sticks with it. Live action scenes are kind of part of that too, because like with the live action scenes, the voice acting was terrible, the acting was terrible. I remember like I was playing it earlier today, and like Jill has like I don't know, just gigantic pants. Like I don't know. Yeah, I have to show you.
Maybe that grass was real high.
Yeah, so that came in handy. I don't even know why I'm judging. What about Jill versus Chris? What was kind of your?
I always played as Jill, like every time. Like I did eventually beat it with Chris later on, but I don't know. I mean, I know Chris's is definitely harder. He could take more damage, but that didn't really matter because you know you had what 2 extra slots with Jill for the inventory. You had 2 extra slots. She had the lock pick. Chris had to get like small keys and stuff and things like that. It just made it more difficult. Not to say that I mind difficulty. I love playing very difficult games, but you know that was the first time I'd ever played Resident Evil, and I noticed right away that you know Jill was the one I wanted to play with. That I wanted to start with. And personally, I've always liked her like better as a character. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree too.
The story's more interesting. I don't
know. I mean, like we've played all the Resident Evils, you know, more or less. You know, 3 was starring Jill. What was it 5 was starring Chris, and you know, obviously those 2, like 3 is a much better game, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, 3 was
and I guess the next thing we'll talk about is Tyrant. This was kind of just iconic for me. I mean, like just still one of my favorite villains of all time. You know, didn't say much or anything. You just kind of go to near the end of the last area where you're in the laboratory. And
did anything ever mention Tyrant? Like, was it? I know you get like little memos and notes throughout the game. Did anything ever mention that they were building a Tyrant? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Because, like, the early part of the laboratory, because you go into like an area where it's a slideshow. You remember that?
Yeah, they did talk about it then. But was that the only part that talked about it? Let us know if anybody remembers that. We'll see it when we play through it again. But I know it's crazy. But when I was younger. I've read them since then, but when I was very young, I kind of just skipped over it when I was a kid, you know. But let us know about that.
I mean, like that whole scene, like where you fight him in that little laboratory, comes out of the tube. I mean, he busts through the glass. He kills Wesker. I think Wesker.
Did he kill Wesker?
Yeah, like Wesker was typing in the computer. And, like,
okay. I know.
Down. Well, he didn't really kill him because Wesker kept coming back.
But he killed Barry first, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Seems like we need to play it.
Yeah. Our memories are foggy. We're getting old. But that whole Vice scene, like you're just kind of circling around the area. He's walking towards you real slow. And it's just like, oh my god, you know. And he's just, you know, it scared the crap out of me. And you finally kill him, and it's a pretty easy fight. You know, you just, you know, keep shooting him, he'll eventually fall, and then you think it's over. You know, more or less. And then at the end, you get to the helipad, and helicopter comes, and boom, there comes Tyrant just popping out of the bottom.
See, that's the thing too. Remember, isn't there like alternate endings? One of them, you don't fight Tyrant up there, right? Isn't there?
Yeah, there's that too. Like, I forgot how you go about unlocking it.
But there's several alternate paths, alternate endings. Who you meet up with, who you talk to, who dies like throughout the game. So yeah, I remember like, but that's the classic ending, and I think that's like the one they go by canon. I think like usually when the other ones they always. You know, Barry lived, but there's certain versions where I don't think he does.
Yeah, I guess it's like, because like Resident Evil Revelations 2, Barry's alive and he's got a kid and you play with the kid to play it. I haven't played through that game though, but I remember that was kind of like the main story. I
always thought he was an underrated character.
Yeah,
Barry.
I like him. God, the voice acting and stuff, the terrible things.
What is this? What is it? Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I can imagine when he had that kid, he was just like, "What is this?" But you know, eventually we beat the game, and that wasn't really the end of it. You know, we beat it so many times between the both of us. The obvious thing was if you beat it under 3 hours, you got the rocket launcher with infinite ammo. And that was, you know, that was a trial. That was, you know. I don't know, like once you go through it, you memorize certain things, but like a lot of it's just like running past zombies, skipping over items you don't need, maybe skipping rooms, from what I remember, and just trying to beat it in that 3 hours. I think like my personal record was like just over 2 hours, and then you beat it.
I swear I beat it in like an hour and a half, but I know I beat it really fast one time. I forgot what the exact time was, but I got the rocket launcher, so I just ran through the game. But I remember like it being really terrible. I wanted to shoot everything with the rocket launcher, but could you not aim down with it? Was that what it was?
I think it was in like if you had Jill, like I don't know if I remember this correctly, but like she would struggle to pick it up. Like
yeah,
she'd kind of hesitate or something.
So you might as well just run past stuff unless you're shooting something straight ahead. But I don't think you could shoot certain things with it. Like you couldn't shoot crows. I don't think. I wanted to do that.
Yeah. God, it's like most annoying enemy game.
Yeah.
That's one thing we always ran past, and you know.
Yeah. I don't even like the crows. That's the thing. That's one thing that I really don't care about the original. The crows. They're just crows. They're not zombie crows. They're just regular nasty crows.
That's like how they get in the mansion, because there's the part of the painting like I was talking about where that was kind of like the hump I got over beating the game was.
Oh yeah, if you mess up the puzzle, the crows, they don't like that.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I don't know.
I thought they just like they're scavengers, but yeah. For me, like as far as how the game, I was one that I didn't really play a lot of like very difficult games. I didn't really play through like the original Zelda. I didn't play through like Metroid. I played them, but like I never beat them, complete them, or anything like that. And this was a game that just kind of threw me into different directions. Instead of playing like beat 'em ups, fighting games, stuff like that. I started playing these games that were just like you had an adventure and stuff like that, and it kind of got me into like other games. So like for me personally, this is probably the most important game I've ever played. It just holds a very personal part in me and being a gamer and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's probably in my top. Every time I like have a top, I'm gonna say top 5 games of all time. Resident Evil 1 always makes it in there, and I even played Resident Evil games later that were probably just as good. Resident Evil 3 and 2 is just as equally as great as Resident Evil 1, but they didn't have the impact.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, they didn't have that, something that I've never seen. I'd never seen anything like that up until that point. So, yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia for it, a lot of memories for it. I can still go back and play it today. It's, and I don't remember everything, but I could recall it pretty fast if I had to. And,
yeah, I felt that way too. I mean, I was playing just, I think I got to just out of the mansion earlier today. I was playing for about an hour or so, just kind of refreshing myself. And there's a lot of stuff like I forgot, and there's a lot of stuff that I was just like, oh my god, and like it just kind of came back to me, just the gameplay of it, how to run, how to like, avoid certain enemies and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean like, and it's been, technically about 15 years now since it's been out, and it's just had that incredible impact to us. So yeah, that's kind of what we want to start off with, is just kind of talk about this game and just how it was important, sharing our stories about it and everything. And
And like I said, eventually we will have, we're going to play through the game. We're going to get our live reactions, do some commentary on that, because, it's been a while since we played it, so there's going to be stuff that surprises us and we're like, oh, you know what, I forgot that actually happened. Or maybe we can play to try to get some of the alternate scenarios, the not so known ones. We can see some of those.
Yeah.
But, thanks for listening. Like I said, I am the Weasel, Easy Weasel. This is
Caveman. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.